Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Football Addicts Anonymous podcast. Pretty good weekend of football. We had the Army-Navy game, the FCS quarterfinals, and NFL Week 14 finishing up tonight with the Patriots and Cards. We'll get to that game at the end of the show, recap all the games from this weekend, and then get you some updates on some of the injuries that happened in the NFL. We'll also talk about some transfer portal stuff, bunch of guys committing already to new schools, and a couple coaching carousel issues as well. So starting off on Saturday, the Army-Navy game for the first time ever in the series going to overtime. The Black Knights getting it done 20-17 in overtime. Army did have 6 wins, but they are not bowl eligible. I found out they do not have enough wins to qualify. Even with the six wins, they're only 5 of their 6 qualify for bowl eligibility there because they played 2 FCS teams, and I don't know if you can only play 1, but I don't know. But only 1 can count, I guess. But Cade Ballard, the leading passer, there wasn't many completions in this game, 3 to be exact, but Ballard 2 of 10, 20%, 28 yards, 9 carries for 23 yards. His running mate there, Tyler, 0 for 2 passing, but he did have 23 carries for 62 yards. The QB run game with Tyler was working in the second half there. Xavier Arline was really good for the midshipman here. He completed his only pass for a 25-yard touchdown. That was in overtime. 28 carries for 102 yards. A really good ground game for our line there. Masai Maynor, went 0 for 2 passing, did not run the ball at all. Navy's fullback Anton Hall Jr. led the game in rushing outside of our line. 7 carries, 99 yards, 1 touchdown, but he had a critical fumble in double overtime, I should say. This one went to double OT. The fumble, Navy got the ball to start double overtime and fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line. Army recovered, kicked the game-winning field goal on their ensuing series there. So critical fumble there. Tough loss for Hall. Navy wide receiver McQuell Haywood there. He led the game in receiving, or actually, Army running back Raheem Murphy led the game in receiving, 3 carries, 7 yards, 2 catches for 28 yards. McQuell Hayward, the only receiver to catch a pass on the day, and he caught the 25-yard touchdown in overtime from Xavier Arline. Defensively, I'm going to go with Navy. Linebacker John Marshall, 8 tackles, 3 solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. He's a staple of that midshipman defense, did a nice job in this game. And then have to also note Army defensive back Jabril Williams, big play that gave Army their first lead of the game, 7-3, 31-yard blocked punt return for a touchdown. So really helping the Black Knights get it done in this one. Army plus 2.5 wins outright, over 32, like I predicted. Took a little bit to get over 32, but we did it. FCS quarterfinals, we had 3 games on Friday night, 1 on Saturday. The first one here on Friday, number 3 North Dakota State advancing to the semis, 27-9 over number 6 Samford. Michael Hires did come into play eventually. Did not start the game, but he played well. 22 of 30, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception there. Hires definitely played a lot better than Crittenden did. I was kind of shocked that they went with Crittenden to start the game, but Hires did the job after that. 22 of 30, like I said, 73.3%, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Quincy Crittenden, 8 of 17, 47.1%, 52 yards, 6 carries for 14 yards. Cam Miller was great all day for the Bison of North Dakota State. 15 of 18, 83.3% completion, 194 yards, 1 touchdown, 12 carries, 21 yards, and a rushing score. North Dakota State running back Kobe Johnson led the game in rushing, 15 carries, 48 yards, 1 fumble, and 1 catch for 4 yards. North Dakota State running back TK Marshall also scored a touchdown. Samford wide receiver Chandler Smith led the game in receiving, 6 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. And then North Dakota State tight end Joe Stoffel also had a touchdown on the day. Defensively, North Dakota State safety Dawson Weber had the pick off of Hires, and Samford defensive back Isaiah Richardson recovered the fumble of Kobe Johnson. Samford did cover, though, plus 19.5, under 64. Easily. Yeah, my my picking against Montana State has not been going well. Weber State last week, William and Mary this week. Number 4, Montana State, absolutely obliterating number 5, William and Mary, 55-7. This was like 48-0 at halftime or something like that, 35-0. I don't know. But Tommy Malott, touchdown Tommy, was just that, 7 of 9 passing. That's all it took, 77.8%, 106 yards, 1 touchdown, 10 carries, 45 yards, and 3 rushing scores, 4 total on the day for touchdown Tommy. Sean Chambers came in for him near the end of the game. He completed his only pass for 39 yards. He also had 5 carries for 44 yards and a fumble. Tribe quarterback Darius Wilson, 7 of 18, 38.9%, 62 yards, 1 pick, 9 carries for 12 yards. So really deflating day for Wilson there. Montana State running back Isaiah Fonse, I remember this kid from last year, is just a beast. 11 carries, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. So great game for him. And then, I mentioned William and Mary running back Bronson Yoder in the pregame on Friday. And he did his job. 26 carries, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. That's a pretty good day. They just did not have the passing game to go along with it. They could not score when it came down to that. Montana State tight end Trayton Pickering, he led the game in receiving, 1 catch for 42 yards. And then Montana State wide receiver Cleveland Thomas, he scored a touchdown from Malott there. Defensively, Montana State corner Simeon Woodard, he had the interception off of Wilson. And then also need to mention Montana State wide receiver Taco Dowler, 79-yard punt return touchdown as well. Montana State cover minus 9.5, easily under 64.5 though. 62 in this game. Last game on Friday, number 7 Incarnate Word upsetting numbers 2 Sacramento State. And this game lived up 66-63 there for UIW. This game lived up to everything I thought it was going to be. Points, and more points. The most ever points in an FCS quarterfinal. 129 points. Just ridiculous. 6 lead changes, I believe, in this game. And my Hornets just came up a little bit short. Took the lead with about a minute plus to go. And could not get the hold that they needed. But Sacramento State quarterback Jake Dunaway, 19 of 32, 59.4%, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 1 carry for 14 yards. His running mate Asher O'Hara, 14 of 23, 60.9%, 158 yards, 1 touchdown, 22 carries, 87 yards, 2 fumbles. That was the big issue in this game for Sac State. The turnovers were prevalent. 4 from their quarterback duo there, just killers most of the night there, and really crushing drives. Their defense did pretty good job of holding up. Sometimes they forced a couple field goals in the first half, but could not do that all of the game. And how about the night for Incarnate Word quarterback Lindsey Scott Jr. just continues to excel in GJ Kinney's offense. 19 of 31, 61.3%, 219 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 19 carries, 166 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. So Lindsey Scott on the night, 50 total touches. I guess, incompletions, pass attempts and carries, 50 total there. 385 yards and 6 touchdowns. That is just ridiculous. Incarnate wide receiver Marcus Cooper. He was their leading rusher there, 22 carries, 176 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns for him, 4 carries, 4 receptions, 58 yards, and a receiving score as well. So Marcus Cooper also having a hell of a night, over 200 scrimmage yards on 26 touches and 3 touchdowns. Sacramento State running back Marcus Fulcher, the running attack for the Hornets was also prevalent. 9 carries, 108 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 receptions for 21 yards for Fulcher. And then how about Cameron Scadaboo, his last game with the Hornets there? We'll talk about him in a second. 18 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 receptions, 76 yards, and he threw a 19-yard touchdown pass as well. Sacramento State tight end Marshall Martin led the game in receiving. Really great night for him. 12 catches, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he ran a 4-yard touchdown in as well. So 3 total for Martin. Sacramento State wide receiver Pierre Williams had a 100-yard night, 8 catches, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns for him as well. UIW wide receivers Darian Chafin, Taylor Grimes, and Roger McCuller also all scoring touchdowns on the night. Chafin throwing an 18-yard completion as well. Incarnate Word linebacker Kalechi Anyalabichi, he had a 55-yard fumble return touchdown, and then interceptions coming from UIW defensive backs Elliott Davison and Brandon Richard, and the other fumble recovery off of O'Hara coming from UIW defensive lineman Chris Whitaker. Incarnate Word +6 wins outright over 78, like I predicted. And on Saturday, we had the final FCS quarterfinal here. Number 1, South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, getting it done over number 8, Holy Cross, 42-21. Mark Gronowski was stellar, 12 of 22, 54.5%, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 carries, 47 yards, 1 score on the ground as well, 3 total for Gronowski. Love him. The day for Holy Cross quarterback Matthew Saluka was not great passing, 12 of 26, 46.2%, 125 yards, 1 pick, but he was a monster on the ground, 26 carries, 213 yards, a touchdown. He's a quarterback, y'all. Yes. They kept saying he was the best running back that also happened to be a quarterback, which is really accurate when I watched that game. South Dakota State running back Isaiah Davis had a great day on the ground as well. 20 carries, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 catch for 0 yards. Holy Cross running back Peter Oliver, he scored a touchdown, as did running back Tyler Purdy. He threw a 27-yard touchdown. South Dakota State wide receiver Jackson Yankee. The Yankee brothers were going wild in this one. 4 catches, 82 yards, a touchdown for Jackson. Jaden, 3 catches, 49 yards. He scored as well. Holy Cross tight end Sean Morris scoring a touchdown also. And then want to mention one thing on defense. South Dakota State linebacker Jason Freeman, 37-yard pick 6. South Dakota State covered -19 over 52. NFL recap here. Eagles, the Birds, go Birds, 12-1. They clinched the first playoff spot this season, 48-22 drubbing of the Giants. Just absolute annihilation for Philly here. Jalen Hurts, 21 of 31, 67.7%, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 carries, 77 yards, and a rushing score as well. 3 total for him. Up over 3,000 passing yards now for the season. Squarely in the MVP conversation, I would say. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, 18 of 27, 66.7%, 169 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 carries, 26 yards, and a rushing score as well. And then Tyrod Taylor came in at the end of the game. He went 5 of 5, 47 yards, a touchdown, 2 carries, 40 yards, and a fumble. Miles Sanders for Philly had a great day, 17 carries, 144 yards, broke his career best record that he broke a couple weeks ago against the Packers, 143. He gets 144 in this one. 2 touchdowns for him rushing, and he also caught one ball for 11 yards. The Giant killer, Boston Scott, got a lot of work late in the game when Gardner Minshew came in at QB. 6 carries, 33 yards, 1 touchdown. Now has 8, I believe, in his career against the Giants, which is great. 1 catch for 4 yards there. Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown, another great day. 4 catches, 70 yards, a touchdown on 6 targets. Defensively, have to go with Brandon Graham. The Eagles defensive end just killing the Giants tackles all day. 4 tackles, all of them solos. 3 sacks, hat trick there. 3 tackles for loss, and 3 QB hits. A lot of great performances in this one. The Eagles sacked the Giants quarterback 8 times, I believe, in this game. Eagles covered easily, -7 over 44.5 by themselves. Ravens getting it done, 16-14 in Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett and Tyler Huntley both going out with concussions in this game. Pickett only threw 1 pass, didn't complete it. 2 carries for 16 yards. Mitch Trubisky came in, 22 of 30, 73.3%, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, but the 3 interceptions were killers for the Steelers. They could have at least tied the game when it was at 13 for Baltimore there. They had, and then, just throws another one, leaving points on the board that could have really won them this game. And now it's going to be tough in the playoff picture now with it being at 7-6. I believe that's what the playoff record is now. Yeah, it's at 7-6. So there's still 2 out, but with 4 to go, it's still going to be very difficult to get in there. But Tyler Huntley here, 8 of 12, 66.7%, 88 yards, 9 carries for 31 yards. Anthony Brown came in for him, 3 of 5, 60% for 16 yards. J.K. Dobbins returned for this game off of IR. He had a great game, 15 carries, 120 yards, a touchdown. That's the kind of J.K. I thought I was drafting this year, missing most of the season so far. Najee Harris scored another touchdown in this one. Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson led the game in receiving, 6 catches, 82 yards on 8 targets. And then defensively, how about the day for Roquan Smith? The Ravens linebacker, 6 tackles, 3 solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections, 1 QB hit, and a pick. Monster day for Roquan there. Ravens +2 went outright under 36.5. Bills beating the Jets 20-12, keeping their lead in the AFC number 1 seed discussion. Mike White for the Jets, 27 of 44, 61.4%, 268 yards, was getting beat up all day. Rib injuries, had to get them checked out, but he flew back with the team last night. Joe Flacco came in for him a couple times, 1 of 3, 33.3%, 1 yard, 1 fumble for Flacco. So really terrible there for Joe. And then Josh Allen, 16 of 27, 59.3%, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, 10 carries, 47 yards, and a rushing score as well, getting the job done in Buffalo there. Jets running back Zonovan Knight led the game in rushing, 17 carries, 71 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 catches for 6 yards. Jets rookie wide receiver Garrett Wilson, Zonovan Knight's fellow rookie there, led the game in receiving, 6 catches, 78 yards on 7 targets. Jets wide receiver Elijah Moore, the second-year man out of Ole Miss, he had double-digit targets, 6 catches, 60 yards on 10 targets there. And defensively, I think I'm going to go with Jets defensive tackle Quinnen Williams, 3 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. That's before he went out with an injury. And also want to mention another rookie for New York there, Defensive end Jermaine Johnson, one of their first round picks, he had a blocked punt that led to a Jets safety there. Jets cover plus 10 under 43.5. AFC North matchup, Bengals beating the Browns 23-10 to stay with the Ravens at the top there in the AFC North. Deshaun Watson, a lot better than last week's first game back for him, 26-42, 61.9%, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 6 carries for 33 yards. Joe Burrow, a little bit down of a game from where he has been the last couple, 18 of 33, 54.5%, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 6 carries for 10 yards. Bengals running back Joe Mixon returned in this one, led the game in rushing, 14 carries, 96 yards, 2 catches for 10 yards. Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase, how about the day for him? 10 catches, 119 yards, 1 touchdown on 15 targets. Browns wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones also almost getting close to Chase's numbers there. 8 receptions, 114 yards, and 12 targets. Defensively, I'm going to go with 2 guys in this game because how about the tackle numbers for Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson? 17 tackles, 14 of them solo. That is a grand ratio there. Half a sack, 1 QB hit as well. And then Myles Garrett just shredded the Bengals offensive line all day. Joey B was getting hit a lot. 6 tackles, 4 solos, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflections, and 3 QB hits for Garrett. Great day and a loss. Bengals covered -4 easily under 47. Cowboys avoiding a scare and what would have been the upset of the season. 27-23 over the Texans. Texans had the lead 23-20 late, could not stop the Cowboys on their final drive, and then could not get the ball in the end zone to win the game at the end there. Dak Prescott for the Cowboys, 24 of 39, 61.5%, 284 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, really helped Houston take the lead in this game. 6 carries, 23 yards. Not sure what was going on with the quarterback situation for Houston. Davis Mills started the game, but Jeff Driscoll played throughout. 16 of 21 for Mills, 76.2%, 175 yards and a pick. Driscoll there, 4 of 6, 66.7%, 38 yards, 1 touchdown, 7 carries for 36 yards. Texans running back Damian Pierce led the game in rushing, 22 carries, 78 yards, 1 touchdown, and a fumble. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott had the game-winning touchdown, 15 carries, 62 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 catches for 19 yards. And then Cowboys running back Tony Pollard had 2 scores on the day, 10 carries, 42 yards, a rushing score, 4 catches, 20 yards, and a receiving score on 5 targets. How about the day for Texans wide receiver Chris Moore? No Brandon Cooks, no Nico Collins in this game. He led the game in receiving on a big day. 10 catches, 124 yards on 11 targets. Cowboys tight end Dalton Schultz also having double-digit targets in this one. 6 catches, 87 yards on 10 targets. Defensively, I'm going to go with the guy at the bottom there, Texans linebacker Ogbania Okoronkwo. 3 tackles, 2 solos, 1 sack, 1 pass deflection, 2 QB hits. Also want to mention Texans corner Tremont Smith, 3 tackles, all of them solos, 2 pass deflections, 2 picks. Jalen Petrie, the rookie, also continues to impress. He's the Texans' leading tackler week in, week out. Texans did cover easily, plus 17 over 44.5. Lions, how about the Detroit Lions? 1 game out. 1 game off of 500 here, and just 1 game out of the NFC playoffs. 34-23 upset over the Vikings, who are now 2 games back of Philly for that number 1 seed. Technically, really 3 with the head-to-head loss to the Eagles. Kirk Cousins put on a monster performance. Both quarterbacks did in this game, really. Cousins, though, 31 of 41, 75.6%, 425 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jared Goff for the Lions continues to blow up, 27 of 39, 69.2%, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns for Goff there. Lions running back Jamal Williams led the game in rushing, 16 carries, 37 yards. Not much from either team in this one. And the day for Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, just completely dominant. 11 receptions, 223 yards, 15 targets for Jefferson. Big monster numbers for him. DJ Chark scored. Adam Thielen scored. Josh Reynolds, Jameson Williams. How about Jameson Williams? The rookie first-round pick of the Lions. Second game back for him. First catch of his career, 41-yard touchdown. He had 2 targets on the day. KJ Osborne scored as well. Defensively, a lot of good performances here. I'm going to go with Lions defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. Jameson Williams, first round draft class mate this year, number 2 overall pick, had 2 tackles, both of them solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 QB hits. And then also want to mention Lions safety CJ Moore. He only had 1 tackle, but he actually led the game in rushing, 1 carry for 42 yards on offense. Lions covering -2.5, over 51.5. A lot of overs this week. Jags beating up on the Titans 36-22. Trevor Lawrence just shredded them. 30 of 42, 71.4%, 368 yards, 3 touchdowns, rushing touchdown as well. 4 total for T-Law on the day. That should be Ryan Tannehill. I don't know why I put Titans there. Ryan Tannehill, though, for Tennessee, 25 of 38, 65.8%, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 carries, 16 yards, and a fumble. Turnovers were killing the Titans all day. Derrick Henry had 2 of them, 17 carries, 121 yards to lead the game in rushing, 1 touchdown, 2 fumbles. He got blasted on one of those hits there. Just could not survive the hit. 3 catches, 34 yards on 5 targets for Henry as well. Monster day for Jags tight end Evan Ingram, 11 receptions, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns on 15 targets. Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones, also a great day for him. 8 catches, 77 yards, 1 touchdown on 12 targets. Defensively, I am going to go with Jags safety Andrew Wingard there. 7 tackles, 6 solos, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, 1 QB hit, and 1 pick. Jags +3 win outright over 41.5. Chiefs get to 10 wins, trying to keep pace with Buffalo, 34-28 over the Broncos, who have been officially eliminated from playoff contention. Patrick Mahomes, 28 of 42, 66.7%, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, tying his career high. That's why the Broncos were able to stay in this game. Russell Wilson got concussed in this game, 23 of 36, 63.9%, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 4 carries, 57 yards. Russ was playing his best game of the season, hands down, in this game. And shame that he got injured in this one, did not get to finish it. Brett Rippon came in for him, 4 of 8, 50%, 16 yards, 1 touchdown, and a pick. Chiefs rookie running back Isaiah Pacheco led the game in rushing, 13 carries, 70 yards, 3 catches for 23 yards. The receiving day of Jerick McKinnon for KC was outstanding. 6 catches, 6 receptions, 6 carries, 22 yards on the ground, 7 receptions, 112 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns for McKinnon on 9 targets. So monster receiving numbers for the Chiefs running back there. Marlon Mack also caught a long receiving touchdown for the Broncos, which was weird to see. Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster led the game in receiving outside of McKinnon there. 9 catches, 74 yards, 1 touchdown on 11 targets. And then just crazy good day for Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, even in a loss, 8 catches, 73 yards, 3 touchdowns on 9 targets. A lot of great defensive performances here. I'm going to point out 2 of them, though. How about the first guy? My boy, the guy I believed in since he got drafted. Broncos wide linebacker Josie Jewell, 10 tackles, 9 of them solos, 2 pass deflections, 2 picks, including 1 spectacular diving interception. To get 1 off Mahomes is great, but to get 2 off of Mahomes is exceptional there. And I also want to mention Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay, 5 tackles, all of them solos, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, 47-yard pick 6 off of Wilson there. Great day for him and the Chiefs D as well. Broncos +9, they covered over 44. How about the Panthers? They are now 1 game out in the NFC South, 30-24 over the Seahawks. Geno Smith for Seattle, 21 of 36, 58.3%, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 3 carries for 20 yards. Panthers quarterback Sam Darnold didn't have to do much on the day because of their running attack, 14 of 24, 58.3%, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 carries for 30 yards. The rushing attack for Carolina was monstrous all day, 222 rushing yards, I believe, for the Panthers. Probably a little bit more than that, maybe. But Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard led the game in rushing. They tied at 74 yards apiece. Foreman on 21 carries, Hubbard on 14. Foreman also caught 1 ball for 1 yard. Hubbard ran a touchdown in, and he caught 3 balls for 25 yards. Raheem Blackshear also scoring a rushing touchdown for the Panthers in this one. Seahawks wide receiver Marquise Goodwin led the game in receiving, 5 catches, 95 yards, 1 touchdown on 6 targets. His running mate DK Metcalf had double-digit targets here, 5 catches, 71 yards, 1 touchdown on 10 targets. Tyler Lockett also catching the 3rd touchdown from Geno Smith. Want to shout out also Panthers wide receiver Shi Smith, 2 catches, 17 yards on 2 targets. He scored his first ever receiving touchdown of his career in his 2nd season there. Defensively, have to go with my boy Panthers linebacker Frankie Louvu, 4 tackles, all of them solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass deflection, and 2 QB hits. Panthers +3.5. They win outright over 44. How about the absolute butt kicking of the Buccaneers? 49ers, Brock Purdy, 35-7, just killing them. Tom Brady, 34 of 55, 61.8%, 253 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. And how about Mr. Irrelevant? Brock Purdy, 16 of 21, 76.2%, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown as well. 3 on the day for Purdy. Family in attendance originally to see Brady, but get the pleasure of watching their son beat Brady. Christian McCaffrey was dominant once again, 14 carries, 119 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 receptions, 31 yards, and a receiving score as well. So 2 there for CMC. 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk led the game in receiving, 2 catches, 57 yards, a touchdown on 3 targets. And defensively, I got to go with the top guy there, 49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw, 15 tackles, 10 of them solos, 1 pass deflection, and a pick. 49ers covered -3.5 easily, over 38.5 by a little bit. Sunday Night Football, the Chargers upsetting the Dolphins 23-17 in LA. Justin Herbert was magical. 39 of 51, 76.5%, 367 yards, 1 touchdown as well. Tua Tagovailoa struggled all night, 10 of 28, 35.7% completion, 145 yards, a touchdown, 3 carries for 28 yards. Chargers running back Austin Eckler led the game in rushing, 15 carries, 45 yards, a touchdown. He also was killing the Dolphins defense in receiving, 8 catches, 59 yards on 8 targets. Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams and wide receiver Keenan Allen, they were dominant all night, 6 catches, 116 yards, a touchdown on 6 targets for Williams. Keenan Allen, double-digit receptions, 12 catches, 92 yards on 14 targets. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill also had double-digit targets, 4 catches, 81 yards, 1 touchdown on 10 targets there. And he also had a crazy play, 57-yard fumble return touchdown as well. Defensively, I don't know. A lot of guys have similar stats. 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 1 QB hit for Dolphins linebacker Jerome Baker, defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, linebacker Jalen Phillips, and Chargers linebacker Kyle Van Noy. But I'm going to go with just the top guy there, Jerome Baker for Miami, 11 tackles, 6 solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 1 QB hit. Chargers +3 win outright under 55. We have some XFL news, 2 QB assignments today. The Houston Roughnecks, they are getting Kurt Bankert, and my DC Defenders, we are getting De'Aaron King. So interesting assignments there. Ready to watch the XFL coming up in a couple months. College football news, we are sending prayers, a lot of prayers to for Mike Leach, the Mississippi State community and the football team there. Mississippi State head coach Mike Leach is in critical condition after suffering a personal health issue at home yesterday. I have not heard any news of what it is, but he was described as in critical condition. So again, just thinking of Coach Leach and his family, and hoping that he can pull through this and continue to coach and grace us with his his witty and funny comments, press in his interviews there. On a lighter note here, USC quarterback Caleb Williams winning the Heisman Trophy, the 2022 Heisman Trophy award on Monday night there, or Tuesday night, I should say. I think it was. I don't remember when it was, but Thursday. There you go, Thursday night. But yeah, I kind of knew that was going to happen. You know, Stetson Bennett really didn't have the numbers to be there. Duggan didn't play the full season as a starter. And CJ Stroud, well, he actually finished third and Duggan finished second. Stroud did have the numbers to compete with Williams, but just was not dominant like Caleb Williams has been all season long. And that's why Caleb Williams was named a first-team Associated Press All-American. Those teams were released today. The first-team offense here, quarterback Caleb Williams, USC, like I said. Running backs, Texas's Bijan Robinson and Michigan's Blake Corum. The tackles, Northwestern's Peter Skoronski and Notre Dame's Joe Alt. Guards, Florida's Osiris Torrance and USC's Andrew Voorhees. Center is Minnesota's John Michael Schmitz. Tight end is Notre Dame's Michael Mayer. Wide receivers, Ohio State's Marvin Harrison Jr., Tennessee's Jalen Hyatt, and Iowa State's Xavier Hutchinson. All-purpose, Kansas State's Deuce Vaughn, and the first-team kicker here, NC State's Christopher Dunn. First-team defense, edge rushers, Alabama's Will Anderson Jr. and USC's Tuli Tuipulotu. Tackles, Georgia's Jalen Carter and Pittsburgh's Kalijah Cansey. Linebackers, Cincinnati's Ivan Pace Jr., Iowa's Jack Campbell, and Arkansas's Drew Sanders. Corners, Utah's Clark Phillips III and Illinois' Devon Witherspoon. Safeties, Miami's Cameron Kinchin and Georgia's Christopher Smith. Defensive back, TCU's Travius Hodges Tomlinson, and punter, Michigan State's Bryce Beringer. Second team offense, starting off with quarterback, TCU's Max Duggan. Running backs, Illinois' Chase Brown and Minnesota's Mohamed Ibrahim. Tackles, Ohio State's Paris Johnson Jr. and Ohio State's DeJuan Jones. Guards, Kansas State's Cooper Beebe and TCU's Steve Avila. Center, Michigan's Olusegun Oluwatimi. Tight end, Georgia's Brock Bowers. Wide receivers, Purdue's Charlie Jones, SMU's Rashee Rice, and North Carolina's Josh Downs. All-purpose players, UCLA's Zach Charbonnet, and kicker, Michigan's Jake Moody. Second team defense here, edge rushers, Texas Tech's Tyree Wilson, Notre Dame's Isaiah Foskey, tackles, Illinois' Jerzon Newton, San Diego State's Jonah Tavai, linebackers, Ohio State's Tommy Eichenberg, Clemson's Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and Georgia's Jamon Dumas-Johnson. Corners, Mississippi State's Emmanuel Forbes and Penn State's Joey Porter Jr. Safeties, Iowa's Kayvon Merriweather and Ohio State's Ronnie Hickman. And defensive back, Alabama's Brian Branch, and punter, Iowa's Torrey Taylor. And finally, third team here, offense, Tennessee's Hendon Hooker, running back, UAB's Dwayne McBride, and Pittsburgh's Israel Abanikanda. Tackles, BYU's Blake Freeland and Illinois' Alex Paljewski. Guards, Washington's Jackson Kirkland and UConn's Christian Haynes. Center, USC's Brett Nealon. Tight end, Utah's Dalton Kincaid. Wide receivers, Houston's Nathaniel Dell, Washington's Roma Dunze, and Boston College's Zay Flowers. All-purpose player, Alabama's Jahmyr Gibbs, and kicker, Stanford's Joshua Carty. And finally, third team defense, edge rushers, Kansas State's Felix Anudike Uzama, Eastern Michigan's Jose Ramirez. Tackles, Cincinnati's Dante Corleone and LSU's Mekhi Wingo. Linebackers, Old Dominion's Jason Henderson, Wisconsin's Nick Herbig, and Texas's Jalen Ford. Corners, Alabama's Kool-Aid McKinstry and USC's Mekhi Blackman. And then safeties, Buffalo's Marcus Fuqua and Alabama's Jordan Battle. Defensive back, Toledo's Quinyon Mitchell. And finally, punter, Cincinnati's Mason Fletcher. So those are your AP All-American teams. Congrats to all of those gentlemen there. Well-deserved in many regards. Probably some people left off, depending on who you ask, but well-deserved for all of those gentlemen. Coaching carousel news. We'll start off from bad to good, I guess. Navy, they have fired head coach Ken Niumatalolo after 15 seasons. He has been the face of the Naval Academy's football program for a long time, and it'll be interesting to see who takes that position over. Service academies do not usually have too much turnover, and it's very interesting to see who gets those jobs when they do come open, because they don't come open very often. Missouri State's head coach Bobby Petrino, he has interviewed for Texas A&M's defensive coordinator opening, so we'll see if he unites with Jimbo Fisher down there in College Station for a run with the Aggies. And finally, Stanford has their new head coach. They have hired Sacramento State head coach Troy Taylor as its successor to David Shaw. Former Cowboys head coach and NBC analyst Jason Garrett bowed out of the running a few days ago before this announcement was made. Transfer portal, we have commits and some new guys in the portal here. A couple new guys in the portal: South Carolina running back Marshawn Lloyd, Sacramento State running back Cameron Scadaboo. I'm very excited to see where he goes, to see him at the next level there on the FBS stage. Also, big names today entering Coastal Carolina. Quarterback Grayson McCall is in the transfer portal. He's another one I'm very excited to see where he goes next year. And Arkansas's tight end Trey Knox also in the portal there. Commitments from the transfer portal. UNC's quarterback Jacoby Criswell, he has committed to Arkansas. Oklahoma's wide receiver Theo Weiss Jr., he is going to Missouri. Oregon running back Sean Dollars, he will be going to Nevada. Western Michigan running back Sean Tyler, and Washington State wide receiver Dejon Stribling. They have both committed to Oklahoma State. Northwestern wide receiver Malik Washington is going to Virginia. South Carolina tight end Jaheim Bell is going to Florida State. That's a massive get for Jordan Travis in his return next year. Yeah. Bunch of big commits and gets for all those programs there. Still more work to be done, though. Draft declarations. Auburn running back Tank Bigsby today declaring he is going to the draft next year, as is Texas A&M running back Devon Achane, Houston wide receiver Nathaniel Dell, Florida defensive lineman Javon Dexter Sr., UNC wide receiver Josh Downs, Mississippi State corner Emmanuel Forbes, West Virginia wide receiver Bryce Ford Wheaton, Oregon corner Christian Gonzalez, Arkansas wide receiver Jaden Hazelwood, Ohio State safety Ronnie Hickman, Northwestern running back Evan Hall, Stanford corner Q Blue Kelly, Stanford quarterback Tanner McKee, Northwestern corner Cameron Mitchell, Florida wide receiver Justin Shorter, Utah running back Tavion Thomas, Penn State wide receiver Parker Washington, Virginia wide receiver Dontavian Wicks, and Utah corner Clark Phillips III. NFL news here. A couple general things. The Saints have some news to talk about. The NFL fined the organization $350,000, head coach Dennis Allen $100,000, co-defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen $50,000, and defensive end Cameron Jordan $50,000 for what they thought was Jordan faking an injury on Monday Night Football against the Bucs. So yeah, we'll have to see, how that goes. The NFL put an emphasis mid-season there about faking injuries, so we'll see if any other fines come out for anyone else or any other teams as we go along the rest of the season. Also with New Orleans, coming out of the bye this week, they announced, head coach Dennis Allen announced they will continue to start Andy Dalton at quarterback. He will be their starter this week. Staying in division there, Bucks quarterback Tom Brady's future is up in the air. He is a free agent in 2023. What up in the air means, do not know. Could be returning, could be retiring, could be, I would think he wouldn't go anywhere else, but who knows at this point with Tom. IR activations, most of these guys play this weekend, but Cowboys wide receiver James Washington from his foot injury, Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins, Jags linebacker Caleb Chason, Steelers kicker Chris Boswell, Eagles corner Avonte Maddox, and Ravens safety Marcus Williams. Injuries, long list of them here. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, he is likely out until Christmas Eve. He is a sprained PCL. We'll have to see. Anthony Brown might get his first career start this coming week with Huntley in the concussion protocol. Speaking of Tyler Huntley, he does have a concussion, as does Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett and Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson, all concussed this weekend. Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson, he has a broken wrist, will miss a few weeks, but be back for the stretch there. 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel, he has likely a high ankle sprain, haven't confirmed that yet. That's usually a 4 to 6 week injury, likely out until the playoffs, which is 5 weeks from now. Cowboys right tackle Terrence Steele, believed to have suffered a serious knee injury today in practice, or sometime during the game there. But big boost coming for them. Tyron Smith, their left tackle, he is returning. So we'll see what they do on their right side now, as Smith is expected to play this weekend, I believe. Eagles safety Reed Blankenship, he has a low-grade knee sprain, short-term injury, not going to go on IR there. Jets quarterback Mike White with ribs and defensive lineman Quentin Williams with a calf injury. They are both day-to-day. Head coach Robert Saleh expecting Mike White to be available and play this weekend. Falcon quarterback Marcus Mariota, he has a knee injury, likely headed to IR and would be done for the season at that point. The Falcons moving forward with rookie third-round pick Desmond Ridder at the position. Eagles punter Aaron Siposs, he has a lower leg injury, going to miss some time. We'll talk about who they brought in potentially. Have not signed anyone yet. Bucks corner Jamel Dean, he has a big toe injury. He is week to week. Not considered serious, though. 49ers defensive back Dante Johnson, his was serious. He tore his ACL. He is done for the season. Big blow to the Niners secondary there. Panthers wide receiver DJ Moore, he is day-to-day with a knee sprain. And Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill has an ankle injury, likely to play Saturday against the Bills, though. Ins and outs for tonight's games. We have a couple here. For the Patriots, wide receiver Jacoby Myers is out. Patriots running back Damian Harris is doubtful. So Ramondre Stevenson getting the workload there. And for the Cardinals, wide receiver Rondale Moore and corner Byron Murphy are both out. Defensive lineman Zach Allen is questionable. And then a couple transactions here. The Falcons, they have released running back Damian Williams, 100% healthy, he says, looking for work there. The Cowboys signing a wide receiver, not the one everyone thought, though. They are signing former Colts wide receiver T.Y. Hilton to give them a boost in their wide receiver depth there. The Saints, they signed running back David Johnson from their practice squad to the 53-man active roster. So we'll see if Johnson gets any work coming up. And the Eagles, they hosted safety Anthony Harris and punter Brett Kern on visits today, looking to bolster those positions with some injuries. And I don't think I see any new news here to note. So we'll move on to the pick standings. All 1-1 last week. We all got the Bucks right on Monday Night Football in a comeback effort. We lost on a comeback effort on Thursday. We all had the Raiders there. So all 1-1. I am still leading Mark by one game, 20-10. Mark is at 19-11. Logan 3 games back at 17-13, and Peter's staying at 500, 5 games back, 15-15. Not out of it yet, Peter, officially. So we'll see. Tonight, though, Patriots at the Cardinals. Pat's getting 2.5 on the road in Phoenix there. Logan, lone wolfing Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, and the Cards here. I just don't see it. The Cardinals have been just so bad all year, and it's a wonder how they got 4 wins. But I just think the Patriots are a better team. They're going to run the ball. The Cardinals' defense is not the greatest, and I would hope that the Patriots throw the ball, and I need the Patriots' defense to be the Patriots' defense for fantasy purposes. Yeah. The over-under for this one is 44. I'm going to roll with the under. Why not? 8:15 ESPN. 49ers at the Seahawks on Thursday night. 3.5-point favorites in Seattle are the Niners. And we're all on the Brock Purdy train. Why not? Christian McCaffrey is rolling with him on that train. He's getting the ball out to George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel's out for a little bit, but that'll just put some more work on Ayuk, McCaffrey, Kittle, and co. And I think they can get it done. They're still the better team overall. I think their defense is still elite, and they're going to cause Geno Smith some troubles there. The total for this one, 43.5. I think I'm going to go with the under as well in that one because of the Niners defense. 8:15 on Thursday, Prime Video. Next Monday, we'll be back talking NFL Week 16 and it's bowl season for college football. So we'll be talking all the bowls there that happened this past next weekend here. And we'll also talk about the Week 15 wrap-up game, Monday Night Football, Rams at the Packers, and the Thursday night Week 16 kickoff, Jags at the Jets. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. FAA_bets is our betting account, and FAApodcast.com is where you can see all our past videos there. You can check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, etc.